नमस्कार. आयज जायत्यो विशय जेन्ना खंयचोय मंत्री कितें विशय मांडटा लास्टाक आमकां एक लक्षांत दवरूंक जाय की गोंय राज्य एक ल्हान राज्य आहा. ह्या राज्याक सांबाळपाचें आमचें कर्तव्य आहा. म्हाजो एक वेगळे तरेची हॉबी आहा. आय वूड लायक टू मेन्शन टू द पीपल दॅट माय मोस्ट पॅशनेट हॉबी इज वायल्ड लायफ फोटोग्राफी. I have spent more than 15-20 years in the various forests, understanding the forest management, forest planning, and I have seen that many times when a person makes a statement, many times people like to troll you on this particular statement. Many times people like to mock you without even understanding what the laws of the forest are. There are many times of environmentalists who are there. We all understand that you are very passionate about the state of Goa. We are also equally passionate about the state of Goa. I come from an area and a constituency which is nested in the Western Ghats. And I would like to say that yesterday I made a statement because there is no proposal in the state of Goa. Actually, I have taken down all the details from the department, and there is something called the tiger corridor. And the corridor is something that we all understand from certain environments made some statements. I have no objection to anyone making statements because in the country where we have freedom of speech, everybody likes to make statements. A lot of people take a lot of pleasure in mocking somebody. That's absolutely fine. I represent my constituency. I've been a legislator for the last 15, 16 years. And my responsibility is towards my people, my responsibility to the people of the state of Goa. And one thing I can assure the people of Goa, that Goa is a very small state. We have various issues such as core, buffer, and several other issues which are there. If I start reading from the Act what all is required for a tiger reserve, then the people will understand exactly what I am trying to say. Actually, I had just taken down a small pointers in order to make the people of Goa understand that I love animals. I love tigers. Tigers is one of my favorite animals, and also many times when people sometimes don't understand what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is Goa is too small for a tiger reserve because it doesn't have here tigers in the state of Goa. We generally find them through the tiger traps, the traps that are put for movement of animals in the wildlife sanctuary. I have a vision for the forest department. We need to build up ecotourism. And many times I see people take one statement and they try to turn it around, twist it around without even understanding. A lot of these people who make these statements, you must actually go back and see their overall contribution to the state of Goa. It's very difficult to put things to an end. आमच्या 70च्या लोकांक खबर आसा की आमच्या चरावण्याच्या धरणाची किती परिस्थिती जाल्ली. We had put up a mini reservoir, mini dam in Sarana village. Today the people there are suffering because of not availability of water. And some people raise the issue at that point of time. As a forest minister, it's my duty to take it up to the state wildlife board and national wildlife board and get it cleared. Ultimately, water is not only water, but it's not only for drinking purpose, it's also for agriculture, and it's also for maintaining the forest in that particular area. If we are able to create a water bodies, automatically it has a direct impact on the health of the forest. We have to also understand, and we have various sanctuaries like the Mahavi, Kotigaon. We are trying to talk to our forest officials. We have got good officers in Santosh Kumar and Mr. Gupta, and several other things. And I'm also trying to get a former field director who has been working in Bandhavgarh and several other parts of Madhya Pradesh to help us in forest management and forest planning, so that we are having all these Mahavi parks and other places. We have a proper internal road network which is for forest management, and that is as per the Forest Act what is available. And not only that, we have to have appropriate type of vegetation, appropriate type of management to be done there. If you have to have either cheetal or sambar or bisons to be restricted to the forest area. Many times we find, a person like me finds people send videos that the bisons going out of the forest sanctuary and moving into the people where people are growing agriculture and other things, because they don't get that type of vegetation and food in the forest sanctuary. That means somewhere we are lacking. Actually, we must understand. I want to ask these environments, how many times have you prepared any kind of a statement or a study to tell us that how the forest management has to take place? I am going to do this very professionally. I don't require environments or NGOs to come and advise me. I am a person who is educated. I need advice. As a minister, I don't say that I know everything, but I do need advice. And advice I am going to take from a retired IFS officers, and also looking at the research institute in Dehradun, so that from there we are able to get some retired officers, so that we are able to use them in the state of Goa on various projects. One is enhancement of Bondla. We have to ensure that we are able to create Bondla on the ecotourism, bring it on the ecotourism map. We have to bring it to a different level. I am not very happy with what is existing. I want to do something totally different, camping sites in different villages, so that we can hand this over to the community within the forest area. And this is the provision of the Forest Act. Ultimately, nobody talks about all these things. There are several provisions, several ways to move forward, and ultimately, we need to, if we were to develop a good wildlife sanctuary in the existing area that is demarcated, whether it is a Mahavir Wildlife Park at Mollem or Kotigaon or any other wildlife sanctuary, you take Salim Ali Bird Sanctuary, the condition of the bird sanctuary is in a pathetic state. We require better infrastructure there. We require proper boards so that people, tourists and all actually want to feel like going there. And hence, migratory birds come there. So there are several, this is a vast portfolio with a vast area. One side, coexistence of the people along with the forest. There has to be total coexistence of people in the rural area. And second, we have to also ensure that when we are talking of forest management and forest planning, we have to also see somebody advises and guides us. So over the next 5 years, we are trying to create that type of a habitat so that the forest animals live within that area and they get that type of vegetation and food within that particular area, so that the bisons and other places don't start wandering off from the wandering off into the agricultural fields of the people and create damage there, which we have been seeing, and several complaints also have been coming. So best part is, I thought over the last few days after interaction and understanding my Department of Forest, is to bring some retired officers so that they can, along with the existing officers, they are able to guide us with their vast experience of park development and management of park in larger states, with larger area, which is much bigger than the whole length and breadth of Goa. So these are the type of parks that they have handled, so that they are able to help us guide and create interest so that common people, any citizen of the state of Goa can go and visit this park and they can actually see animals within the park. There are several other initiatives that are there in the pipeline. I want to make this a department that coexists with the people, a people-friendly department. People should not have a fear. In the villages, people depend on the income they take from these particular areas. We already have a wildlife sanctuary that was notified by one gentleman called General Jacob without even taking objections, suggestions from the people. And it was done on the day the elections got over in the state of Goa on 4th June 1999. Hence, we have to realize that these things cannot be done just unilaterally, but at the same time, since it is there, we have to also ensure that the people coexist. There are lots of things. Forest acts are very tough. To manage the forest is very difficult. And also, we have to ensure that we have proper professionals. We have got good officials with the department. I have been interacting with them. In addition, get retired IFS officers so that they are able to help us build on a project-to-project basis how best we can enhance and make people interested in. People should feel like going to Mahavir Park, people should feel like going to Bondla, people should feel like going to Kotigaon, and they should be opened up to the public. Camping sites will generate the camping sites and development of camping sites within the forest area, jungle trails, and several other things which will help in building up ecotourism in the state of Goa. I, for one, am a lover of wildlife, and same time I believe that the wildlife and people have to coexist, and this is the way forward. Many times one sentence, today we find one sentence is twisted into several things, and I appreciate all the troll, I appreciate everything, people love to make fun, it's okay. Somebody says that several other things, I take it as a joke and I just push it aside. My job as a forest minister is to do something good for the state of Goa, and in a very professional manner. If somebody thinks that I'm going to get disheartened or I'm going to move aside from my existing agenda, no, I'm not. And definitely I do not feel that Tiger Reserve is meant for the state of Goa. Tiger Reserve is something meant for larger states, because there are other complexities involved with this, and there is no proposal as of now on my table or in the state of Goa to create any kind of Tiger Reserve. I am very firm. I am a minister who believes in certain things. I stand by the decisions I take, and I do not change anything that I say. Just because somebody criticizes me and tells me that the animal is not bound by boundaries, I am also educated enough to understand that the animal is not bound by boundaries. But definitely there is something called a definition called a wildlife or a tiger corridor, which I have been experiencing and seeing. Ranthambore was built based on and road infrastructure was built there based on the wild tiger corridor, and as a result of which we are able to see much more tigers, and in a particular way. It's not necessary that every time we see a tiger, but definitely on that concept, the road network there was built. I want people to go out to understand that I am here to protect the forest, and same time I have to be very practical and protect people's interests also. Many times you see headlines coming in the newspaper, people enjoy these headlines coming in the newspaper. I definitely don't enjoy any kind of headline coming in the newspaper, but I am here for all of you. If you feel that anywhere I falter or I am going in any wrong direction, please feel free. I will be soon sharing an email. I will be sharing an email where you can address several issues. I want the people of Goa to understand that I also hold a town planning portfolio, which is a very sensitive portfolio, and I want you to understand that I'm going to soon share a phone number, and this phone number is going to be a number which you can complain on corruption, record voices of people, record anything and put it and use it and share it on social media, so there will be a fear of anybody, whether he is a person from public life or is a person on any other front. If he tries to take a bribe, then you should make sure that you trap such people and expose them to public. I am, for one, going to be very strict as far as the portfolios held by me are concerned. I shall be sharing an email shortly in the next live when I come, an email which you can address, but with authentic facts. And facts are something that we are going to explore the complaints that are made, and also a phone number so that our office can keep a record of such things. It's very important in today's time to be very transparent. The vision of the Prime Minister is to have a people-friendly government with a very transparent approach, and that's how we are going to move forward. And I appeal to all the people, if anybody asks me for a bribe in any of my departments, please make sure that you bring it to my knowledge, and I will ensure that I'll act on it. Nobody to take bribes, and nothing will be entertained in any of my departments. Hence, I appeal to each of the citizens of the state of Goa. Today, from my cabin, I take this live to appeal to you that you have a minister here who is going to be very transparent, very strict, and for that I require the support of the people. Go all out, no problem. You can use your phones, you can use your whatever mechanism you want if you feel that somebody is trying to exploit you, and expose such people. This is the need of the hour, and let's all unite. The Bharatiya Janata Party believes in transparency, and the vision of the Prime Minister is to have a transparent government in every part of the country. And we all, for people in public life, must ensure that we live up to the expectations of people of the state of Goa and our country. Thank you so much.